morning and I'm gonna get a jump start on the day. Mark's back today, so I'll be able to focus on more project stuff today. Right now I've got some new ventilation fans I've put in the greenhouse. Up here to there, I got a couple more to put up. I'm gonna put these same fans in my new greenhouse that I'm hoping I can do some serious work on today. But just to get a jump start on the day, I'm gonna crop out all these shoots and I'm going to just do some maintenance stuff with the other shoots. I got to uncover these guys that are sprouting. They'll go on the tables or on the shelves once I harvest those other ones. For the winter, we're actually cutting our pea shoots a little bit shorter. If you notice, I'm leaving almost an inch to an inch and a half left on the flat. The reason for that is we're putting it in our salad mix. So we have in the past put sunflower shoots in the salad mix to beef it up when our field production of greens is slower. But we've been having problems this year with the shelf life of them decreasing with the sunflower shoots. Probably a variety of reasons that they do that. Sunflower shoots generally don't have the staying power as pea shoots. So we find that the pea shoots are great in the salad mix, not only because they're beautiful for texture and flavor and color, but they have the staying power as the rest of the greens, so we're not compromising our shelf life with them. And we're still getting over a pound of yield per flat, even by cutting them short. Actually, right now we're about 1.5 pounds, even when I cut them 1.5 inches higher off the flat. Got a really good haul there. Looks like about 16 pounds of each sunflower and pea for 12 flats. So that is, yeah, close to 1.5 pounds per flat. That's great. The radish shoots are always around 1 pound a flat, so there's nothing changed there. Now I've just got to get this stuff out of here. It goes into the compost pile. That'll clear up more room for me to uncover more microgreens. All right, well, I've spent my morning setting up the ventilation in the greenhouse, and it might sound noisy because it's definitely a lot more ventilated in here now. You can see I've got these fans above, 2 more here, and it's pretty cool. Like it's very noticeable. They're just 14-inch fans, but they are creating a whole just a circular effect in the greenhouse now. So I've got them kind of pointing down. The ones up here are pointing down at my microgreen flats, and I think that's going to help with some of the fungus problems we've had with the micros. And then I don't really need downward circulation here, but it's neat because all those ones up front are just kind of pushing air back this way. So when I stand here, I can actually feel the air coming back at me. And to assist with that, I just put another simple circulation fan up there blowing this way. So what I'm going to do, if I can get my electrician here this week, he's a really busy guy, he is going to change my exhaust fan from here to put on the other end, and then the intake will be there and then the heat will stay here. So that way airflow is always kind of going this way. Like once it's summer, I won't need to run that fan up there. I'll just run the exhaust, and then these fans will keep blowing this way. So in the summertime when it's warm, everything will just blow this way and outtake with the exhaust fan being here. So that's my morning. Pretty stoked on that. Got all that all wired up, and so now I can spend the rest of the day working on the greenhouse, putting in my insulation in the ground. And Mark has done all the washing. He was back today, so he's done all the washing, and he'll spend the rest of the day packing and delivering these orders, and I will be out here getting into this action. It rained again last night, but it's dry today, so I'm gonna hopefully put a dent in this, at least close up one of these end walls, as long as it doesn't rain. We'll see, fingers crossed. All right, so I've got my end wall finished here, and it was kind of awkward because I put the door more over to this side than in the center, whereas it's just usually where you put it. My thinking there was just it'll be a shorter path in and out of the nursery in the winter, especially when there's snow. I might make a temporary roof shelter here between the two doors so we don't have to get muddy when we walk between them. So it's all framed in, it's all channeled in. Now all I'm gonna do is put the plastic over. I'm just gonna cut two big pieces. It's 24 feet wide by 104 feet, or 104 inches long. And so I'll put two pieces together and channel them in at the same time. Okay, I've channeled in my end wall. This took long because, well, it was pissing rain, and it was an awkward one because normally you put the door right down the center of the greenhouse, but I put it a little bit over, in fact about 6 feet further over, just so it's closer to the doors here, just so we have nice, easy traffic flow. And so now I'm just gonna cut some poly and clamp it into the top channel lock, and then all along these ones here. So this poly is 24 feet wide, and the great thing about greenhouse poly when you buy it is they always fold it in parts. So this is a 6 foot wide roll, but it's folded 4 times to the inside. So you've got the halfway seam here, and whenever I cut my piece, I just get something rigid, measure the length I want to cut on both sides so it's square, and then just run this as a ruler with a marker down and then just cut it. When you're making poly low tunnels out of greenhouse poly, you do the same thing, but you need to cut it down the middle. And so on poly rolls, there's always, like I said, the fold in the center, which is the direct middle, but there's always going to be a slight crease in that poly there as well. So when I make poly low tunnels, I buy a 20 foot wide roll and I split them down the middle. So I just walk a pair of scissors right down the middle after I cut my length, and then I've got 2 tunnels there. And my tunnels, because they cover 2 30-inch beds with about 10 inches to a foot walkway, I can that's enough to cover the arch when it's over, and a little bit on each end for weights and stuff. So that's how you make poly low tunnels, basically. So I needed 2 pieces that are 104 inches long for that, so I just cut a 208 piece, and I'll just fold it on itself, and then that's what I'll hang up there. So on the bottom I'll have it'll be doubled over, but it won't matter because there's a bit of slack after the channel lock, and I can just channel in the bottom. So I'm not going to channel in too much of it right now, just enough, like a 1.5 feet there to hold it while I line up the bottom, because I want to make sure that this is good and straight. I know it'll all be good because there's tons of play, but it's just so that I don't get as many seams. Really, in the end of the day, it's all going to be blown out, so you wouldn't even really notice a crease unless it was like way off and you had some weird shape in there that wouldn't resolve itself with the blowing of the air inside. I'm making sure that both layers are there when I pull. And when I'm twisting the wire, I'm twisting it up and down to get it to curve into the channel lock. So down, up, down, as I'm pulling the plastic, up, down, up. that's it. You'll notice that at the end when I was going to do the door, I was trying to channel lock it in before I cut it, but it was too tight in the middle there, so I found that as long as I had my bottoms secured, it was all pretty in place, so I just cut it. That way when I channel locked on the bottom corner, there's a bit of looseness, so the channel lock the wiggle wire wiggled in easier, and then by the time it came up here, you know, it's really nudged in there well enough that it just works its way in. So that's my day. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, please hit the subscribe button right now, like and share these videos with your friends, and check out my website, theurbanfarmer.co, where you've got links to my one-day workshop, my online course, my book, and the free extras that are an accompaniment to the book that anybody can get for free. And if you guys want to make a donation to the show, it's much appreciated and always welcome. You can do that at theurbanfarmer.co/support. All right, see you tomorrow.